Paranormal evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices.
Paranormal evidence.
Live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Or Paranormal Entity Voices Evidence, whatever you want to call it.
Depends on if your dyslexia kicks in at the right time or not. I'm Chris Allgood.
I'm Audra Keeler.
I am Cherie Radman.
Lourdes Gonzalez.
I'm Ron Yacovetti, and I'm excited to be here too.
We want to start off the show by saying Tony's not feeling well, so he's not going to be with us tonight. So we're paying homage to him.
That's right.
He is behind us.
Not the nasty stuff. Though,
You know.
just saying.
Behind this green screen, probably.
Feel better, Tony.
We love you, Tony.
So tonight's guest is Taryn Kerper. She's an independent investigator, a talk show and podcast host, and an expert in Gettysburg. So let's bring her in and say hello.
Woohoo! Welcome.
There she is.
Hi, Taryn.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
This is so fun. I love all of these people. Usually it's just me and my one guest, but this is great.
Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. So, Taryn, we usually start at the show by asking all of our guests in a brief summary, what got you interested in the paranormal?
Ironically, my first experience before I went through training and got into it. Before this, I was afraid of it. Didn't want nothing to do with it. But my first experience was in Gettysburg, in 2007. And prior to that, I thought, like I said, I was afraid of it. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was not about it at all. And when I had that experience, I was like, you know what, this isn't that bad. I'm kind of curious, now I'm curious. So I went into it more on a, educational part. Like I wanted to learn about it. I wanted to know how, why, what, when, where things worked. For me to understand something, I have to really understand how it works. So that's what I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And talk show and podcast. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? Let everybody, our audience, know.
So I do a show every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called Paranormal Brew. I did used to do this with two other people, but they kind of backed out. So, and I just love doing it so much that I just continued. I made sure with them it was okay. They didn't care, and they're happy. They give me, we're still all friends and everything like that. But they just weren't into it like I am. So. But anyways, I had Lourdes and Ron on. Last week I had Jason Halls on.
Nice.
Nice.
This week coming up, I have Shane Pittman coming on, and I'm booked through January. So, hopefully it's going to be a good next year. So, and I get a lot of people on. My point of that is just, having people on like Jason Halls and stuff like that, who I respect in the paranormal field. And I know I looked up to, and as kind of like a mentor, and for him to come on and, basically talk real, not everything what you see on TV is, not everything's a demon, not everything's evil, and just kind of like be real about everything. That's my goal, just get that out there, because most people all they know is what they see on TV, and they think everything's negative and demonic and gives us like a gimmicky type persona to people that aren't involved in this. So I'm glad, that's why I do it. To see.
And he's a really nice guy too. We got to talk to him at the New Jersey Para Unity Expo at the VIP party. Because of the day of the expo, we thought we'd get to talk to him again, but The line to see him was like they opened up a DMV at Disneyland. It was just,
Oh yeah,
it was ridiculous. But he is really a nice person.
Down to earth.
He was really down to earth. They no airs of I'm a TV personality or anything at all. Of course, he's knowledgeable. He's been doing this for a while. But hopefully people learn more than just ghost hunting techniques from him. They also learn interpersonal skills with how to interact with the community, right, regardless of people's level of experience, because I think he's really good at that. And that's a lesson that shouldn't go unnoticed.
Right. And that was one of the things me and him talked about, because I said, when you guys do your show, I mean, granted it's TV, so yeah, but the way they handle clients and private houses and this and that, you know, they do it. I mean, if they don't find something, that's normal. If they do find something, you know, they do whatever they can to try to see what's causing it, whatever. They're showing people how you really should investigate.
Right. And that's one thing I was going to point out. The reason I like Jason Haas so much is, and I got into him a long time ago watching Ghost Hunters, is they go in there, and if they can't eliminate something environmental, if they can't eliminate something in the structure of the building, they can't eliminate a breeze coming through a window, they're not going to call it paranormal.
Right.
They have to eliminate everything. And Ron and Cherie and Lourdes and Audra have heard me say situational awareness. You have to know the history. You have to know where you're at. You have to know what's going on. You have to know the weather conditions. You have to know everything going on before you can call it paranormal. And that's the one thing I like about Jason Haas and his group is they won't present it as paranormal if they can't.
Right.
100%. Unless they can't find an explanation for it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, reviewing is the most important thing too before you call it paranormal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Well, Taryn has a lot of evidence, and I don't want to have to go. We don't have time for any of this, so I'm going to jump right into it unless somebody's got an objection.
Nope. Restart with
Nope. I am going to
no objection.
No objections. So I'm gonna give you I'm gonna start with an EVP that you sent us. Are you trying to? Do you want to give us a little?
Which one is it?
Are you trying to sleep?
Oh yeah. Really quick, I just want to say, because I always do. A Jing, I just saw she's watching on YouTube. She's from Indonesia.
Oh wow!
Oh,
she's giving us a shout out and saying hi. So I don't know if you. Yes, there she is. It's literally probably 2 or 3 a.m. there right now.
Wow!
Oh my goodness.
So that's one of my Paranormal Brew followers. I love her, and I've never met her, but hope to meet her one day. So
that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Okay,
yeah,
so
a lot right there.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing her to the show. That's awesome.
So do you want to play the EVP, or do you want me to talk about it first and then you play it?
It's up to you. Do you want to give an intro first, or do you want to talk about it after everybody hears it?
So I'll say it first. So it was at the Inn at Lincoln Square in Gettysburg, and the inn was actually empty. Me and my boyfriend at the time were the only two that were there, so nobody else was in the inn. And the inn, it's pre 1863, so it's an old inn. You could hear everything. So you know what it sounds like when somebody's walking through or talking, and you know what I mean? You just know that sound. So she allowed us to, we got permission to do an investigation since we got the whole inn. Nobody else was staying there that night. So she goes, go ahead, investigate the whole inn if you want. I'm like, right. So around 9 o'clock, me and him, we start putting the lights out, all of the recorders. I used to put up like 7 recorders. And we were putting them all up, but we're walking around turning the lights off. And at the time, I didn't hear it. But when I was going over my recorders, one of them picked up. Only one.
Yep.
Picked up. It sounded literally like another woman was standing in the room with us. As we're shutting the lights off, I heard something. And I said, what was that? He said, what was what? And then you hear, are you trying to sleep? And I say, is the TV on? Now, her sleep I kind of overlapped that for like a split second as I start talking. So it's not me. And I that's probably one of the best EVPs because it's so loud, so clear. Like it was like there was another person in the room.
So this is not enhanced at all. This is a class A.
Not at all. I don't know how to do that. Ron will tell you, I'm so technologically dumb. Like I can't. I wouldn't even know how to fix that.
Quality speaks for itself. That's good. That's Class A. It's a genuine Class A. If it's at that level, and you didn't have to blow it out.
Mm-mm.
All right, let's take a listen.
What is that? They turn the TV. Is the TV off?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the cable box is still on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was loud.
Yeah.
So he said, so I says the TV off, and he said, yeah, but the cable box. He said the cable box was on, so the TV itself was off, but just the cable box was on. That was it, And it almost sounds like she has an accent, like the end of it, like the sleep kind of goes. It kind of sounds different, So I can't make it out. And this was pre me knowing, like, I was still like amateur, like I had no idea what I was doing, I was using like ghost apps and crap, and this and that. So I knew nothing about the history of the place. I just loved it, so it's somewhere that, I still to this day, every year I go there, I stay there for New Year's. I stay there probably 3 or 4 times a year. I'll stay there. So yeah, I love that place.
Let's play that one more time for the audience.
Yeah, I would hear that again if you don't mind. I would. Yes.
Whoa! What the hell just happened here? Oh, I'm clicking on my other screen. Sorry, guys.
What is that? They turn the TV. Is the TV off?
Yeah, the cable box is still on.
She sounds British.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an accent over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah,
it's so loud.
It's a non sequitur thought too, from what you just finished saying to what it says. It's not like it's a continuation of, hey, are you here or are
Right.
you not here? It's like it was 2 different things entirely, and the vocal picked up right at the end of yours.
and the fact that we're turning the lights off, you know what I mean? And we're so to whoever was there was like, oh, they're turning lights off, they're trying to sleep. So to me, it was intelligent. Now,
Right.
Yep.
skip ahead to where I'm at now. I've learned that I hear a lot of disembodied voices, so I think I'm a little clairaudient. The fact that I didn't hear that, as how loud it was, and literally, it almost sounded like it echoed a little bit with our area, where it's kind of like my voice was echoing a little bit, So it was it's just. I wish I would have heard it in real life.
All right, let's go to the next one. How about Beth? Give us a description of Beth.
Atzion Cemetery in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey.
Wow.
One of my most favorite cemeteries to go to. Now, there's not many cemeteries that are quote unquote haunted, whatever you want to call it, but this happens to be one of them. This one and Batstow Cemetery. So this was like maybe like I told you, I had my first experience in 2007. This was probably like 3 or 4 months after that, keep in mind.
Oh.
So I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm in a cemetery, and it was me and my sister and her boyfriend. And I said, okay. Back then I thought, just say your name. So when I listen back, I know what you sound like, right? In case I hear something or whatever. So I say, now for our second EVP, I say, it's Taryn. She says Kim. He says Eric. And then you hear Beth in unison.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Now for our second EVP, it's Taryn, Kim, Eric.
Wow.
Now
That was really clear.
You can't get most human beings to follow suit like that without.
Yeah. Let's do that
That
one
was
again.
right in line.
Yeah.
Now for our second EVP, it's Taryn, Kim, Eric.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
That is a good one.
Right up in there.
Yeah. I don't think the Beatles ever did that well.
Well, it was Atzion Cemetery in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey.
Which is famous for what? You know.
Oh, the Jersey Devil.
That's right. The Leeds family and the Jersey Devil.
Well,
Yes,
now
right.
we all know the Jersey's devil's name is Beth.
That's true.
It wasn't a boy.
I always knew it was a woman.
Had to be a woman.
Yeah, nothing more demonic than paying $3.65 in tolls to get there either.
Hey, travel through West Virginia. It's $12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one we got for you, Taryn, is hi.
Hi.
So this is actually at a place where I actually used to host the show from. It's a store in Medford, New Jersey. Medford has a very historic part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another old Victorian, late 1800s house. And we had an event there one night for them and raised money, for the place. And I probably that night got 43 EVPs that night and interactions like on recorder it was crazy. You would think having an event, they tend to kind of not come out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was very, I think I sent you a couple of them from that night because it was crazy. There was just so much. So this was just, I had my recorder sitting somewhere. And again, I put up more recorders for more than one reason, because I want to make sure like with that, are you trying to sleep? Only picked up on the one recorder. So to me, that means so much more to me than, so this got picked up on 2. And it's just basically someone saying hi.
Okay.
Were the two recorders in close proximity at all to each other, or no?
Yeah, the way the rooms were set up. So I had this recorder was like on a fireplace, and the other recorder was probably, back then where they had those big open rooms, but they had like the archway. So right through the archway, I had the other one facing. You know what I mean? So they were, I don't know, 5 to 10 feet away from each other, maybe.
So does one sound louder than the other? Or do they sound about the same volume?
No, this was the louder one.
Okay.
This was the louder one. That's why I should have included the other one. I didn't even think about that. But this
I was just wondering.
Was there a recorder closer to the loudest one that didn't get it?
There was one. I don't know if it would have picked it up. It was in the next room, but there was more wall in between the two than there was with the other one.
Right.
It's still fascinating because ambient sound would have at least in some trace level been captured on all of them. If it was on 2 of them, I'm just trying to see if they were close to each other at all. It still could be imprint, like we think may be the case of how it gets on there.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get it on all of them for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask another question too. The group that night, you said it was a big night. Would you say that the collective energy, that was like a good group of people? Like,
oh yeah, the energy in the place. First of all, the energy in that place was always so welcoming, and like you just felt like you were at grandmom's. You know what I mean? Like you just walked in, and you just felt very welcome there. And I think it was one of those places that had a lot of different types of practitioners out of. So there were mediums in there that rented space. There were Reiki people. There were so it was a holistic type of environment anyway. So there's constantly like good, good positive stuff.
Right. You had the spirit energy of the location to begin with, and then you add all the other energy from the mediums and the Reiki stuff, and then we pointed out historical fact has a lot to do with hauntings too. You're saying that this is a welcoming place. It felt kind of family oriented. Maybe it was a place that in the past there was a lot of get-togethers, and that raised the energy a little bit.
Yeah, at one point it was a doctor's place where he delivered a lot of babies and stuff like that. So over the years it's been so many different things, but whatever they do there, as far as when they meditate or they, do whatever they do to set their spaces and, pray or whatever, it really brings, they want to talk. They know that nobody's there to do anything bad when they come in there.
That's phenomenal.
Is what I think.
Yeah. And I brought that up too, just in reference to, because you said it was sometimes with a larger group, they may hide, so to speak, or not come out. But if you have a really positive co-resonance, if the collective consciousness of everybody there, the whole morphogenic field is positive, it's a good group of people with good enthusiasm, good intent, then that in and of itself, even devoid of all the other history, which doesn't do anything but help, but
Right.
just that alone could be what produces a really good night like that.
Yep. All right, let's listen to it.
Okay. Why not?
Wow.
It's very drawn out.
Yeah, let's play that again.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that is drawn out.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah, I agree. No, when I listened to it the first time, I was like, "Eeh." Okay. But I mean, their energies. I believe their energies are on different levels. You know what I mean? And some of them can be a little bit more, or some are a little stronger. You know,
Yeah.
and, you know, like
They kind of had
here that some are stronger or not. You know, so why not? Why
kind of had the creepy guy at the end of the bar at closing.
I know.
Yeah. Kind of did, Chris.
All right, so let's go into some pictures, and they're just numbered, so I'm going to go ahead and pop it up, and then you can go from there with the description. Let's take a look at this one.
All right, so this is not my photo. I was given permission to share it.
Wow.
I was actually working at Penhurst Paracon. I was working the event, and I took a group down. And this is the Rockwell Tunnel, my favorite tunnel there, hands down. So I would take them down, but I would make sure everybody went in the same direction and make sure I waited till the last one. Just make sure I had everybody with me. It was probably a group of 25 people. And, they all started to go. And there was one girl kind of, staggering back behind. And she stopped and she said, "What's that way?" And I said, "Well, so we're looking at the end of the hallway. When you come down, and if you were to look to your left, that glowy silver thing is a wall. So it kind of like stops short right there. The other end, however, keeps going and going and going. And you go around about 2 or 3 bends until you get to the end of the tunnel. So everybody was going that way. And we were about to start walking and we heard something down, towards at the other end of the hall. So we stopped and I said, "Take a picture." So she took a couple pictures. Jump ahead, we go out and she stops me and she said, "Look." And I said, "Holy shit." I said, and sorry, I don't know if I curse. I apologize if you can.
Oh, we do it all the time. It's okay.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Because what we heard sounded like a heel, like heels.
I was gonna say it looks female for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And she shows me this, and for me, I mean, I believe that looks like a female something.
Yep.
And then there was throughout the day other groups going in there saying they were hearing high heels. One woman picked up on a woman. Like there was like all these reports then thereafter of a woman in the Rockwell Tunnel from different groups, throughout the day. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris, tunnel, no source of light, shadow casting or not casting. Go.
There is no shadow casting. And if you look close down, there's no feet touching the floor. And so the one thing that I focused on, Taryn, when you said it, is that wall back there is a shiny wall. You don't see any shadow being casted on that shiny wall at all. Was there a flash used when you take this picture? When she took the picture? There was. So there should have been a shadow cast onto that wall. There should be a shadow down at the floor. There's nothing there. This is a straight up apparition of a female. You can tell.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why I shared is because I actually she messaged it to me because it was like me and her shared that moment together, right? So I know for a fact there was nobody at the end of that tunnel because nobody was down there, on that end of it. So
someone needs to tell her to wear comfortable shoes if she's going to be walking the tunnels.
Well, there was somebody else. There's a couple people that said that when they went down there, they picked up on a nurse that remember how they used to wear bare heeled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Aaron Bush right at the right moment. Nurse vibe. Yep.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I don't even see that. Oh, there. I'm getting a nurse vibe. Yeah. That's what. So there was a couple people that picked up on a nurse down back, and which is quite possible.
Yeah, Chris, situational awareness wise, that completely coincides with the history. We were there for the first time a couple months back, and it is a massive location. You don't even get to go through every building of it.
It's so big.
It's so big, and the parts you get to go through are still so big. That's an amazing catch, because if you play devil's advocate and you go, well, you know, I mean, what do you begin with as an alternate explanation other than an anomaly?
Well, there is no alternate explanation of that, because you got a shiny wall in the back where there's no shadow being cast by the flash, and because of the flash, it's not going to cause a shadow being casted from the end of the tunnel. So somebody can't say that's a shadow being casted down to the end of the tunnel, because there's nobody in front of the flash. If there was somebody in front of the flash, they'd be caught in a picture.
Right.
Right. Doesn't have the elongated, stretched out, like a shadow being cast on a surface wouldn't be upright like that, like a silhouetted mannequin.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in the fact that, I mean, there's nothing touching the floor, so you're here in heels, and if you look down at the bottom, it dissipates. So there's no solid form at the floor.
It kind of looks like a Monet painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no refraction. There's no reflection.
No.
There's no effect on the light whatsoever, other than the fact that is a darker than dark silhouette of a human shape.
Well, and you want to point out some more details. You can't tell me that a woman wouldn't have been wearing shiny buttons, or if she's carrying a bag, something shiny on the bag that would have reflected the flash. Her eyes would have reflected the flash. None of that's happening in this photo.
Well,
and
most people had like cameras and this and that, because there were, you know, power celebs there. You know what I mean? There were people there that, you know, I think I can't remember who was there off the top. Oh, Jason and Tango and Steve, not Jason. So I'm sorry, Steve and Tango. You know, Ghost Hunters was there. You know, doing doing hunts with people and everything. So everybody was like, you know, ready to take pics or had, you know, all kinds of stuff on them. So it was an awesome event, for real.
It's a great catch.
Yeah, it's really
that's a fantastic. If that's all you walk away from an entire night with is just that's for people watching, that's phenomenal. That's
the holy grail. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody goes into a location wanting to catch that, and then we walk away with EVPs, we walk away with disembodied voices, we walk away with screams, whistles, knocks, door slamming. Sometimes we catch that on audio. I mean, 9 times out of 10 we'll catch some audio, even if it's just a couple clips, no matter how long we're in a location. But it's rare that you walk away with evidence like this.
Well, what's awesome about that too is, you know, I was working that event, right, and non-paid. You know, it was all, you know, volunteer. We volunteered our time and everything, and then what's awesome about that is that the person that took that photo was somebody that paid to come to the event. They paid a couple $100 to be there all weekend, you know, and the fact that they actually went away with something like that,
right?
Fantastic.
Right. I mean, you're just like, that's so awesome. And it was in my group, you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's something that, so which is why I shared it, because I think it's awesome for her to get that.
Right.
So, okay, so
that's really, really good.
Yeah. Again, now this one, I only included this one because I just honestly want your opinions, first of all, because I'm not quite sure. Again, this is Rockwell, exactly. And this looks like, and again, this was another group that was taken down on the Rockwell Tunnel. One of the paying customers had, you know, walked out and saw this. A lot of people think that it looks like a little boy leaning over. Like you see his arm, hand, and his legs. You see like his leg, like he's almost leaning on the wall, but kind of, you know, coming out.
Right here in this area here.
Yeah. I've always been on the fence with this one. I like it because I see what people are seeing.
Yeah,
I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but
you can't explain it. But at the same time, it's hard to explain with the condition.
It's a blurry photo, first of all.
Right.
But that looks very clear. Everything else looks so blurry, and that kind of has like a definite straight, like shape.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, the lines of it, the outline of it is pretty definitive, even though it has almost like a pixelated consistency to it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hard one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That is, again, not my photo. This was in one of my groups, and they sent it to me, and you know what I mean, to share. So.
Well, it's also, you have to get a little bit of a perspective too. That white line on the wall, Taryn, about how tall do you think that white line is?
All right, I'm 5'3". That wall would come up to my shoulders.
Which would put the figure, if it was a child, at about 36 inches tall. So yeah, feasibly it could be.
Could be.
Right, and then anything that's anomalous that also appears in a photograph, a lot of times just through the manifestation alone, there can be disfiguration with exaggeration in the size of either limbs or characteristics. Like on visual ITC stuff, you'll see earlobes that are exaggerated compared to the actual person when they were alive.
Right.
So you're looking at the anatomy, you're looking at the outline of what looks to be like, a hunched over with maybe a pair of legs.
Got a head right here.
It's
It looks like it's reaching down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get something. Pick up something.
Like Ron's saying, it's possible that they caught something. The problem is the distortion in the rest of the picture, and the breeze coming through that the flash caught with the streaking kind of unfortunately takes away from it if it is real evidence. That's the problem.
Right.
Absolutely.
But this is something for you talk about, and Taryn mentioned in the beginning about the learning process, right? The educational process that we go through that, by the way, never ends. This is thought-provoking because this is not in any direction a slam dunk. You don't go, oh, yeah, look at that. And you don't go, nah, look at that. You're looking at it going, we're picking up characteristics and aspects of what we're looking at, but we can't say with any certainty one way or the other.
Right.
It's possible. It's a possibility.
Right.
It is.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to this one. Oh, crap. Oh, that's a video.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so, and it's a very quick one, too, by the way. Again, another one that is, to date, I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. It looks almost like a gargoyle. Now, now you see where she's got I don't know if that was like a K2 meter.
The REM pod.
Yeah, that's a K2.
REM pod and a
REM pod.
So somebody took a picture, and as the flash is going off, it almost looks like right above her and jumping down. Like now, if you see on the ground, see like how it looks like it's the ground is a little darker shade going all the way up.
Right here.
Yeah.
Like right here. I think that's like they either had a light on or somebody flashes a picture, and it's so quick, but it looks like a gargoyle is jumping down off the side of you see the shadow, right? Now the walls go straight up. There's nowhere for anything to be just hanging on. It could be a bug. It could be, but you just have to see it. To me, it looks the best way I can explain it is it looks like a gargoyle, like a shadow of a gargoyle.
Yeah. Watch fast, y'all. It's only about 2 seconds.
Very quick in the beginning. Yeah, it's very quick.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when you slow it down, I slowed it down. I watched this thing so many times. You have no idea. I've slowed it down to see.
It looks like it precedes the flash, too, by the way.
It does.
Which takes that off of the table, in my opinion.
It looks like an animal.
But where's it? To me,
where's it? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But what's it walking on?
Huh.
Flash comes in right about there.
Boom, right there, right. And it's already gone.
It's already gone.
Yeah.
So the flash is not causing the anomaly. It appeared in the ambient light. Whatever you had going on before the flash went off is where you see it.
So let me see if I can't make it bigger. Yeah, I can. Hang on. There we go. Now let me move that back and forth.
It's good that you can scrub the timeline like that so you can actually see it emerge. And it emerges out of that shadow that's trailing the wall.
And it looks like it jumps off. Like it looks like it jumps.
Look at it. Look at it. It looks kind of like a gorilla to me.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Right there. It looks like a gorilla.
It has 4 legs. You can see it. And with the ears.
So here's the most interesting. Even if you could attribute it to the flash, it's moving in the wrong direction.
Correct.
Right.
It's moving towards the flash. If it was a shadow caused by the flash, it would be going the other direction.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is preceding the flash. Like it's gone. Now it's gone, and now the flash comes in.
And then the flash hits.
And then it's so quick too that.
And then the second flash hits, and it's gone.
Yeah, there were no dogs there.
That's interesting.
That is very.
Yeah, but it seems like it's walking towards to that wall right there.
It's like it's jumping. Doesn't look like it's jumping down. Like to me, and maybe that's just me.
That's not the same thing because then
And the hallway's not pitch black, right?
Oh, very good. Audra makes a very good point. When the flash goes off, see the shadow down there by the feet?
Yeah.
It is a different consistency and a different darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So that shadow is casted from the flash
and
of
the person
somebody behind the person holding the K2.
But it's different than what was on the wall.
But here's something even more interesting. Watch the beginning.
And the person with the K2 doesn't move.
No.
Doesn't accurate. And the shadow was so light.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying. Compared to the other one, it's a completely different.
Watch, and I'll do this really slowly. It looks like it's crouching there.
Right.
And then so if you look straight across from the REM pod, there's the shadow from the floor over there is coming out a little bit. It actually looks like it comes out of a crouch and starts moving. Watch. See it come up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it moves towards the person with the K2.
And yet it doesn't ever go off.
But the K2 never goes off.
It does. Yeah, no.
The REM pod never goes off. Look at that.
Yeah.
How quick.
They didn't want to be in the picture. They're like, the picture, let me get out.
Play it in real time then. Now that you see that, then
Yeah,
watch.
I was just going to say for everybody watching that you're sitting there going, wow, that's not really moving all that fast. This is a 2-second video that I'm slowly scrolling through.
It's
you're scrubbing the timeline.
It looks like it jumps.
Yeah.
Like
it does.
Motion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it
What are
jumps.
Here, we can play it again. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It does look like it jumps.
It jumps. It leaps.
It runs and jumps.
Leaps. Yeah.
Yeah, it had the gait of a four-legged animal.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Ron. That thing started before the flash hit. And it's moving in the opposite direction of the flash.
And if there were and the hallway's not pitch black, right? So if there was an animal, even on the, let's say with Spider-Man powers, on the wall, the ceiling, right? The person with the K2 didn't move.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Pretty crazy.
For everybody watching, if you look down in this little corner right here, that is a 2-second video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's important to point out.
That's an awesome catch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, this also puts credibility to the person that reviewed it too. Is somebody caught that in a 2-second clip?
Right.
So sitting there for hours reviewing evidence, somebody's got to have a good eye that's going to grab that out of that video. That's pretty good.
I concur, sir. I concur.
I concur. All right, so let's go.
And I don't even know what concur is, but I do it.
Okay, so Taryn, we got a picture of a
Yes.
picture.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go out of this one, and then there's, all right. So go to
That one.
all right, this is 0. All right. So if you zoom in, you see my guy.
I see him.
You see my guy. The reason why I call him my guy is because so this is in Gettysburg. The railroad cut. And it was daytime summer. And I was just taking scenery pictures with my digital camera. And even as an investigator, I'm flicking through these pictures when I got home so fast. And the person that I was with was not a believer at all. She was not into it. She's like, wait a minute, go back. What was that? And I was like, okay. So I go back and she goes, what is that? She's like, when we were taking those pictures, there's nobody on the railroad cut. She's like, there's nobody there. So I look in, I was like, wow, that does look like something. But I yet doubted what I was seeing. So I actually took this picture to a couple of people in Gettysburg that I respect. Mark Nesbitt was one. There's also another museum that was there, no longer there, but International Museum of Spirit Investigation. So they had this picture, for a while. Like, I guess at that time, no, this was, again, I was still an amateur, you know. No, so I wanted to make sure before putting this out there, you know, because I just doubted myself so much. I was like, there's no way. They finally come back and said, you know, they were 99% sure that this was an apparition of a Civil War soldier.
Right.
Now I always thought Union, but all these other people say Confederate. And I think maybe because it was a highly populated Confederate area there. But Mark Nesbitt then told me that the last Civil War soldier that was found, like the last burial, was in 1996 at that railroad cut, and it was a Confederate soldier.
Oh.
Yeah, and those are specifics that are really, really hard to pin down with absolute certainty. And almost, I only point that out almost because not to detract from what is clearly, in my opinion, at least, and I'm no photo expert, but a brilliant capture. Because I don't care if that's a Salvation Army soldier. That's not a human being.
No.
Supposed to be there when that photo was taken.
And there's one giant significance in here that points out to the fact that this is pure paranormal. Look at the shadows being casted by the trees.
Exactly.
There is no shadow being casted by whoever.
Very crisp, spot on. And look at the direction they're going.
Right. There should be a shadow. If you look at my mouse right here, there should be a shadow directly behind this gentleman right here being casted by the sun, because the sun is coming up from the east.
Mm-hmm.
So you caught this in the morning, correct?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were driving around the park, and you know, and then so now going back to the first one you showed, that International Museum of Spirit Investigation eventually asked permission if they could hang it up.
Look at that.
So they so they did that where they kind of like, you know, because again, I don't know how to do that. And I'm afraid to do that because I'm afraid since I don't know how to do that, I would mess it up. So I guess when they put it on the wall, they just kind of, you know, darkened the color a little bit to make it a little bit more. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, that even more signifies that there's absolutely no shadow behind this gentleman standing here at all.
I would agree.
But you can see the shadows up here being casted from the sun by the trees, the leaves hanging over and the branches hanging over. You can see the shadows down here in the ground. There's nothing here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's
it looks like his arm also, his left arm, and it's in his pocket.
Yep, I would say so too. Yep.
Yeah.
So now it's hanging up in eventually I got my golden award, which I always say that, but it's hanging up in Mark Nesbitt's Ghost of Gettysburg store in Gettysburg. So now it's hanging up there, and Brian Cano actually is using it on the history of the paranormal mobile exhibit.
Well, there's something about the Civil War era here that I really want to point out and focus. Oh, Audra's sister's joining us.
Oh, yay, from Arizona. Hi, Donnie.
So if you notice how straight his arm is when you say that his hand is in his pocket. So a lot of the old Civil War jackets back then would have what's called a rifle butt pocket.
Yeah.
So when these guys, they didn't have horses, they didn't have Jeeps, they didn't have anything to ride on. So these guys would have to walk for miles upon miles upon miles through treacherous trees and landscaping. And they put these rifle butt pockets down at the bottom of their jackets so they could rest the butt of their heavy black powder rifle in their jacket. So all they really had to do was support the muzzle when they were walking, and it lessened the fatigue on the soldiers. Look how low his pocket is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you saw Steve Humphrey's comment a second ago about the legs being short. I think that's due to the length of the jacket.
Yeah.
To the coat. Yep.
Is that the end of his rifle?
Or coat, rather, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you look real close, that almost looks like the butt of a rifle right there.
Mm-hmm.
But if that pocket being that low would have been like a rifle butt pocket where they would rest the rifle and then just carry it like this, so they didn't have to support the whole weight of the rifle, because those rifles were a hell of a lot heavier than the ones we make today.
Yeah.
And check out the hat as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a square.
The flat top. Yeah.
And to me, it looks like, and I might, but it looks like he has a little bit longer hair in the back, kind of like, shoulder length hair as well. But I mean, it took me forever to put this out because in my heart, I felt like I know there was nothing down there. You know what I mean? I know the land of Gettysburg so well. I could walk it with my eyes closed, and I know it better than the town I grew up in. You know what I mean? And I have trekked through the woods, trails, non-trails. I've stumbled across, wells and foundations that are back in the woods and stuff like this and that. So I know that if I saw something or someone, you know what I mean? Like I know, but there was nobody there when I took the photo. And I in my heart, I know that I had captured something. But I needed to get as much quote unquote professional, if you will. I don't know people that are, first of all, Mark Nesbitt's is a former park ranger and tour guide historian for Gettysburg. But also now an author for Paranormal. So this is the what it looked like when I just cropped it, to make it bigger, but that's the color, that's like an enhanced picture other than being just cropped to make him a little bit bigger. That's all.
And then there's
pretty awesome.
There's this one too. So you get a far away view.
Yeah, you see him. You can. I mean, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is insane.
That is fantastic. Plus, Chris said, "Butt pockets," which I thought was fun.
And that's always fun to see my pocket.
That's amazing. It's amazing when you zoom out to the long version of the photo, and you could. And again, Chris said this before, and it bears repeating. You could just glance right past that and go, "Nah, nothing."
Yeah, I did. Easily. I don't know how she saw it. She was.
Yeah, let's look at that again. I mean, imagine you're looking at. God damn it! Imagine you're looking at something like this big, and you're just looking at that photo from that far away.
Yeah, you would never see it. You would.
I didn't. Mm-hmm. She said, "Go
good
back."
eye on her part.
Yeah, good analysis.
Wow.
All right,
that's awesome. Gettysburg, for anybody who's not been there before, is phenomenal. It is a good location if you do the stuff that we do.
Absolutely.
All right, what's this one?
So this is Gettysburg again. Sorry. I have a full spectrum camera, and I like to take photos with that on during the day. I like to use that for photographs, not for investigating, but it takes such beautiful pictures. I mean, the pictures, the colors and everything like that, I love it. So not only do I use my digital camera when I'm taking pictures in Gettysburg, but I also use my full spectrum when it's real nice. And this day was a cloudy day, and the way the clouds were and everything, it made the photos of the sky and everything come out so beautiful. So as we're going around now, this was the first time I had seen this monument, and I thought it was interesting. It reminded me of a place I went to in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Columnsill, it's called. And at Columsill, you just walk through, and there's all these rock formations that people have made. Some of them are as big as bigger than the Stonehenge rocks, and everything. So it's really cool. So anyways, it reminded me of that. So I started taking pictures, and this is on there, this mist. And there was no sunlight, you know what I mean? So it wasn't glare from the sunshine or anything. Now,
leg in the back, left leg moving forward.
If you look and see it, it goes up a little higher, but dissipates as it gets higher. If you see on the tree still, but what's interesting is there was a colonel that was from Connecticut that I found this out afterwards, by the way, a colonel that was mortally wounded there, which is why the marker is there with his name on it, because that was where he was shot and killed.
Well, and to go back to environmental conditions too, where people can say, well, you're looking at a fall or a winter day in Gettysburg, the ground's moist, the sun's heating up, causing a fog.
In one little area.
In 6 inches? Come on. Well, not only that, you can see that there's not enough sunlight that would create the fog from heating up the ground and evaporating the dew on the ground. There's nothing there, and there would be in more conditions. And if you look really close in this section of the picture, there's another mist right up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't have been that high if this was an environmentally caused condition from any kind of, cold against heat or sun against moist conditions. This eliminates it, because if that was a fog caused by evaporation caused by the sun heating up the ground because it's moist, it would have been a consistent pattern all across the dirt right there. It would have been less. The leaves would have contained the moisture, so it would have been just in the dirt related areas, but none of the other dirt exposed areas are releasing this fog.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me. And then to find out later that somebody was, shot and killed there. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah, and Audrey points out, you look really close, it almost looks like he's walking. You can see a curvature of a leg almost taking a step.
You can see the right leg in the back and the left leg towards the front curvature,
you can
like
see
he's walking.
like a little bit of a boot and a pant leg right here. Yeah.
Looks like it's manifesting, trying to manifest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. Or
it's fascinating too because of the full spectrum camera. Electricity and magnetism, they don't have visual properties. So until they hit either the retina of the eye, or in this case, by defecto, the lens of the camera, for something to receive it, that could very well, that would just go completely undetected. You know what I mean? So it's got to be in some way measurable at a certain level. And I'm curious whether or not that was purely caught because it's full spectrum.
Yeah.
For that reason.
I mean, honestly, I believe that. I don't think if I had my regular digital camera, I don't think I would have picked that up.
It's really cool.
First of all, I didn't see it.
Right.
And I didn't even see it because it's one of the cameras you can look through to take the picture. I didn't even see it when I was taking the picture. You know what I mean? And it just, and I didn't use the flash, by the way.
I was just going to say, this is daytime, so you're not getting lens flash or anything like that. That's not a lens flare because you don't have any sun that's going to intrude on that.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Again, this one also was in Brian Cano's that mobile exhibit. He uses that as an example as well. But
the great example of the observer effect, because like an open flame in that area there, for the same reason that it wouldn't have visual properties, right? So when that energy wave hits the retina, and then the cones process, and then that's the visual that you get when you're looking at like an open flame in an open area like that. So that had to have registered on some level energetically with the lens and the camera that was capturing it.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Ron, for everybody watching right now, here in about 4 minutes, KGRA is going to switch over to their normal programming, but we are going to continue because we've got more evidence of Taryn's that we want to show, and we're going to get through as much of it as possible, if not all of it. So if you want to continue watching us on the Facebook Live feed, or you can go over to the YouTube feed and watch over on there. But the KGRA feed will kick over to their normal broadcasting and go to the next show. But if you want to keep joining us, YouTube and Facebook, keep watching.
Thank you. Oh, and I just want to say really quick to Steve Humphreys, he had made a comment about no disrespect to me, like when he was questioning. Believe me, I take constructive criticism, especially when it comes to stuff like this. I hear what everybody has to say. It's part of learning. It's part of education. It's part of, the process of who wants. I definitely don't want my credibility ruined. You know what I mean? So I would never, want to portray something. So if somebody was ever to be able to be like, of course we're all going to have our opinions about what we see, because it's always up for interpretation. But
absolutely. And you're completely entitled to what, for the years you've been doing this, an educated assessment of what you're looking at. And you know what, at any given time, we can all be certain of something and end up being wrong.
Absolutely.
At some point down the line. So at the moment you're doing, there's absolutely no need for, for any apologetic approach to it. That's really an interesting catch. I almost feel like it's either at the tail end of a manifestation or at the onset of it. Maybe like I feel like there could have been more before or after this. I mean, that's speculation. Like, I don't know, but
right. And I don't know either. You know, I like, again, I took a picture of the monument because I said, wow, I never saw this monument before, you know, and I took a picture of it because I thought it was pretty cool. You know,
well, maybe you just caught a portion of what people think of as a spectral trail. Maybe it's just the movement that you caught of the spirit that was moving through, and maybe he wasn't trying to manifest. He just happened to be the right conditions, the right moment. But to piggyback on what you guys were also saying too, is everybody that watches the show, I mean, we give our opinions, we go through what we know, but there's still lots of stuff that we don't know that somebody else might get. If we can educate and learn more stuff, I mean, it's like Taryn said, the last thing we want to do is ruin our credibility. If there's something that we're not seeing that is actually not paranormal, we'd love for the viewers to point it out, because then we don't look stupid when we try and say it's paranormal, right?
Right.
Yeah, I also feel like, you know, if you take into account a learning curve, your credibility can't be vulnerable to taking an educated guess that you may or may not be correct about. I mean, I think at the moment right now, like just Taryn's assessment of it, I would say it's spot on. I agree with it. Could we all be wrong later on? Yeah, but right now, I don't think there's zero risk to credibility looking at that. That's an interesting catch. I mean, I think what Chris said makes the most sense. I think spectral trail is a good possibility too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the video. No, that's a
no,
picture.
it's a picture. Oh, I didn't crop it. Sorry. Okay, so.
Oh, you're good.
Now, okay, so this is the place Columnstill. I forgot that I included this. So not sure what this is. However, and I know nobody knows me from Adam except for Lourdes and Ron. So it's kind of like, you got to take my word for it. I was walking and I heard a whisper to the side of me, and instinct took a picture, and there's this.
Wow.
Again, no sun.
Not to take away from the evidence, but I think you caught a freaking bear in the background too.
Or a log. Goes back there.
Looks like he's waving.
So funny.
He's waving.
That's a big one too.
Yeah. The bear or the orb?
The orb.
But to go back to the anomaly in the picture, there is nothing in this photo that would have reflected light.
Yeah,
Nothing
I don't know what then. That is why, again, daylight. So I wasn't using my flash. You know, I was just taking pictures of the rock formations as we were. This was somebody hand built this bridge. You know, it's all stone, and in front of me was a little mini castle. So I was walking up to that. Actually, I wasn't even paying attention to anything to the side of me yet. And like I said, I heard this like whisper, and I turned, and I don't, like I said, instinct. I just took a picture, and that's what was in the picture.
And are you using just your phone, or what are you
This
using?
was a digital camera. This was back before, you know, phones were what they are now. Okay. So yeah, this was with a digital camera.
And where is this place again?
It's called Columnstill, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's actually very interesting. A lot of I don't want to use the wrong word. Let me say. So a gentleman owns the property, and it's open to the public. You can just go there, but there's so it's in Northampton County, Pennsylvania. It's a megalith park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't want to mess the word up.
No.
So
that was Anthony Ritter, who is a brilliant ITC guy. I've looked at his website. I've talked to him. See, welcoming criticism. So that says everything about what the field should be right there. When someone as brilliant as this guy is saying we welcome criticism to improve our methods and gain wisdom, that's exactly how it is. And he's an extremely brilliant guy who just said that. Not to be dismissed, I think, which is really cool, because it's part of the experience, right? You heard something and then took the picture. Yeah. So it's very easy for the people who are cynical to be like dismissive of I heard something and then took the picture. But that's part of the experience. That might be why you took the picture, in fact, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then so those are two things that correlate, that you had an audible experience and then you captured something visual. So those things are connected. And you know, obviously the audible part is, if you don't have it recorded, it's like you said, people have to take your word and your credibility for it. But
Yeah.
I don't think you start with zero credit. You know, this MasterCard doesn't do that. The paranormal shouldn't do it either. You have a line of credit that you can ruin or not based on what you do. And I think your reputation, as we know it, is stellar. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then the other thing you have to do too is when you're looking at something before you just discredit it, is you look at everything around there. What could cause this? I mean, environmentally, you're looking at this. This is either a super heavily wooded area that blocks sunlight, or this was done towards the end of the afternoon or the beginning of the morning before noon, because the sun wasn't directly up. You can see the shadow being cast over here by the tree. You don't see any other shadows being casted here. So you start eliminating things and analyzing the picture, like a lot of us do before we go, hey, this might be paranormal. Yeah. And then when you see this bright, shiny light out here in the middle that's floating in the air between trees with nothing in the background that would have reflected light, there's nothing back there metallic.
And it's moving this way because it has a tree.
Yeah,
and you're not using flash on this picture, right?
Right, correct. Yeah, no, I wasn't. Again, and I wasn't even like I said, I heard the whisper, and now, like I said, jump ahead. The more I got into this, the more I get into this, I'm becoming more and more clairaudient. I'm beginning to hear, so like as I'm getting, into my, into this whole stuff. Like I came here just because I was interested in the park itself, just like to see the stuff. And then, so it technically wasn't even like a paranormal thing when I was going, it's kind of going just because I think stuff like this is cool, so, and I wound up doing that. But I've been investigating since 2011. So that's it. That's all I got. That mist and that soldier picture. That's it. That's all the pictures. So,
well,
I've learned
other than the fact that the bear might be throwing a silver Nerf football towards the camera. I can't explain it.
Yeah, and the clairaudient part was the part that I was speaking to specifically with being dismissed, because it's bad enough when you show something to somebody visual that they'll be skeptical sometimes purely because they weren't there or they don't trust or whatever. Yeah. But the clairaudient part, I mean, if you have nothing for them to hear, that really is take my word for it kind of a thing. And we come up against that all the time. But if you're doing this long enough, you realize that that's part of acknowledging and accepting and feeling and seeing what's going on. And that's as much part of the process as a visual or an audible capture is.
Yeah, and I'm always hesitant to share this one only because of how taboo orbs are nowadays. Everybody's, we know what they are. They're balls of energy, or we theorize what they are, balls of energy, and not necessarily spirit, but it's something.
It's energy, right?
Energy that's just wasn't there when I was there, but it was captured. So something bright like that, I would have. If it was a flash from something, I mean, I would have seen it.
Right. Well, and I'm going to be honest with the viewers and everybody on the show. You can ask Audra. I'm one of the first people that when somebody goes, look, I caught an orb, and I'll go, oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
But then when I see something like this, it's like, okay, now this is my definition of an energy orb. Yeah. Not something flying across the camera when the IR is turned on and you're in a room full of dirt, or you're in a room that things are falling off the ceiling and falling off the walls and stuff like that.
Orbs get a bad name too, I think, because really, for the most, I mean, do you know anybody in the field whose specificity is visual anomalies and orbs? I think there are people who are more into it than others, perhaps, but I think for the most part, the field generally has a tertiary level of education or knowledge about, the dust, the bug, etc. But I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's never been ruled out. It's almost a fad to be like orb.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't know. I mean, most of the time you don't even vet your surroundings for visual things like an orb, like you would for audible stuff, to make sure that you don't capture something that would be a false positive. So
it's definitely interesting. I mean it blocks out the tree.
It does
a little bit. So I definitely and like I said, in my opinion, I believe that is what we would classify, I guess, as an orb, some type of anomaly that wasn't there. But
that's fair. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
It's like what you guys said. There's nothing reflecting. There's no shadow. There's no
There's nothing. It's just that ball of light.
Self-illuminated.
And there's only one there, just one.
Right, and
You
if you look really close, the area behind where the orb or light anomaly appears is completely shaded. So there's really nothing there that should have caused it.
Right.
Especially that bright and with a motion tail behind it where it's moving. That's phenomenal.
I mean, and you can see the kind of the pattern because the tail behind it, you can see the tree behind the shadow part.
Mhm.
I love that we have such an astute audience of people who watch the show. The last 2 comments were excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was seeing that.
Both of them. Anthony Ritter's thing, and then hey, Tony Rat. Why did that name sound familiar? Why do I know that guy?
I know. It sounds familiar.
That looks like the handsome devil behind Chris. Right, Tony's right. It's got a negative stigma to it, and that's why. Right, because everybody catches these things and goes, "Look, it's a ghost. It's Grandma Ethel." No, it's not. It's
right.
And the fact that Audra pointed out that it has that energy trail behind it. If you look behind that energy trail, if this was a reflection of something, you can see the tree. And the last time I checked, trees don't reflect light. Christmas trees, maybe, but this is not a Christmas tree.
Touche.
I'm telling you, that's a paranormal bear, and that's his energy.
Yeah. He said, only you can identify orbs.
Only you can identify orbs.
And
now let's go back to some EVPs. It's over here I came from.
All right. So, same place I got Beth. Again, me and my sister and her boyfriend were walking through Atzion Cemetery, and our flashlights went out. Now, mind you, I was ignorant to anything. I had no idea what. I just thought it was weird that all of our flashlights went out, but then I got scared because you gotta remember something. It's the Pine Barrens, so I'm not afraid of ghosts at this point, even though I'm walking through a cemetery or anything like that. I'm afraid of the people that are lurking,
Right.
Yes.
And I say this lovingly because I feel like they're proud of it, but like the Pineys and stuff like that, the people that like own those woods, and you're like, I'm sorry for a little, it's a little dark.
It's a dark area in New Jersey that may or may not be populated with people who may or may not be living with a pulse.
Right.
I like to play the banjo.
But it's definitely amazing. I love Atzion Cemetery. So anyway, our flashlights go off and it got dark, and I started to get discombobulated. So I asked my sister was a little, like maybe a couple feet ahead of me, and her boyfriend was even further ahead of us. I said, "Where's the car at?" She didn't answer me the first time. So I asked her again, "Where's the car at?" That's when you hear. Well, no, after the first time you hear, "It's over here. That's where I came from." But nobody answered me. So I said, "Where's the car at?" And then you hear my sister say, "It's over there." And then if you listen closely, you hear this. And I said, something just buzzed in my ear. And I apologize for any sensitive ears, but my sister said, "Dude, that sounded like somebody fucking coughing." Which, when you listen back on the recorder, that's what you hear this light. Where in real life, I heard a buzz in my ear. She actually heard this like coughing noise. And then, needless to say, the investigation ended quickly after that. I think it's time for us to go.
The car went from over there to the car's right here. All right, let's listen.
Yeah, where's the car?
Wow.
Where's the car at? Something just buzzed in my ear. That sounded like somebody fucking coughing.
That was good.
Yeah.
It was.
Let's play it one more time. Listen to that really close. It almost sounds like laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the car? Where's the car at? Something just buzzed in my ear. That Sounded like somebody fucking coughed.
Yeah.
That did sound like somebody fucking coughing.
Somebody fucking coughing. So yeah.
That did. It almost sounded like somebody going.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, like at the time, it was like this loud buzz, and I'm like something, and I'm happy I said that. I don't even know why, but it was just this. Zzz. I was like, something just buzzed in my ear, and she said, "No, that sounds like so." So first of all, if you and I analyze this so much, right? So I said to myself, if somebody asked me where's the car at, how would I answer that? Was there ever a possibility where I would say it's over here? That's where I came from. No, you would just be. It's over there, you know. I actually I don't know if it says here or there, but either way, it's over here. That's where I came from. You wouldn't say it. You just be like it's over there. How my sister answered was a very natural answer to that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So the response was kind of weird to me. I mean, none of us would say that. It's where I came from. No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, I want to make sure.
if anything, we would say we. It's
Right.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
where we came from, but it's
If she was being sarcastic, she would be like, it's over there where we came from. But
Right,
it
right.
says where I came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Context wise, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
yeah.
So
Maybe it had that buzz to your ear and different from hers. It could have been proximity to you because it's a vibrational disturbance, right? Sound is a vibrational disturbance in the air, and when it hits the eardrum is when you get sound,
right,
as a process. So not when it emits from where it's coming from, it's not a sound until it hits contact. So that might be why it hit you differently than it hit her.
Right.
Yeah, and I believe I've always believed that, you know, we all have different antennas, you know, and I feel like, you know, some of us pick up, which is why sometimes you could be in somewhere and Lourdes, you might hear something and none of us hear it. Ron, you might see something and only 2 people see it. You know, I feel like, you know, you're going to pick up, I feel like the energies have to clash at this. You got to be, it's almost like you're at the right moment in time to get something, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's what I think. That's why I think maybe we heard it differently. You know, she really heard it. She heard whatever that was, like how it sounded on the recorder, you know? So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to jump to the next one. We still have 5, and I want to make sure I get them all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rockwell Psi.
What is it?
Rockwell Psi.
Okay, so this was again, this was Penhurst, and I had taken another group down, and they were the ones that pulled the all-nighter. You know, those where we have an investigation from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. and you think everybody usually leaves around 1 in between 1 to 3. You know? Oh no. We had people that were like, "I'm getting my money's worth."
That would be us.
Now Penhurst, I would totally do it. There's no way I want to sleep over there. I love it there, right? So anyways, I had a group. It was a smaller group at this point since it was probably like 4:30 in the morning. And so in part of Rockwell, they have these little, if you've never been there, they have these little cement seats on both sides of the walls where you can just kind of sit on enough room that if you have a big booty, you're falling off. You know what I mean? So you gotta be careful where you're putting your stuff and everything. However, so there was like 4 of us on this side and maybe 6 of them on this side. And we were doing an EVP session. And in the middle of us, all you hear is this sigh. And it was so loud. Right away, I'm like, did you sigh? Who did it? But what's interesting is you could tell the reactions from the people. You know, they're like, that wasn't you. Like it came from and we all heard it come from a different direction.
Okay. Here we go.
They're probably like a quarter mile away from us, and it's that intense.
Is that you, Zion?
Can you hear it? I couldn't hear it very well.
I did not.
Okay.
Hear it.
You didn't? Did anybody say I heard that. I heard it over by you, Connie. By me? Yeah, I heard it over there. By you. No, I heard it. That wasn't anybody else. Okay, now just give me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
Did you hear it? It seriously wasn't you.
All right, let's play that again. It's right as the first 2 guys stop talking.
Yep.
They're probably like a quarter mile away from us, and it's that intense.
Is that you, Zion?
Oh my gosh, it's so much louder.
I did not, no.
You didn't?
Let me see if I can.
I heard that. I heard it over by you, Connie. By me? Yeah, I heard it over there. No, yeah, I heard it that way.
It's funny that nobody could tell where it came from.
But that's probably because it's so echoey in there. So that's why it would be
Yeah.
confusing where. But it's a long sigh.
But
So you
what's
guys hear
amazing
it?
if you listen
On
to
my
that,
end, I couldn't really hear it. I don't
oh
know.
yeah, we heard it really good. But what's
Um,
amazing about that sigh is if you pay really close attention, there's no echo to it.
That's true too.
right.
It's
Let me
true,
play that
but
really
it may
I'll
have
stop
a-
it right after the sigh. But
Like a quarter mile away from us, and it's that intense.
Is that you?
He's right.
there's no echo to that sigh. Everybody else is
There is no
echo.
echo.
It's not.
Mhm.
And you know what's funny about that to me? Like when I listen to this, the impression I get is that this, or when I heard it, time because the two that were talking about. I'm probably gonna get. I'm not. I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, but they were like they knew what they were talking about, and we're talking about the spirits and this and that, and to me it was just like, oh my god, like they have no idea what they're talking about. Like,
I'm right here, and you don't even know it.
right. And
Yeah.
but it was, to me, it sounded like it was right in the center of all of us,
Yeah.
and
Right.
it was loud.
Rockwell unknown sentence.
Yes. Okay. So again, Rockwell Tunnel. There are some what I think it says, but I'm not going to say it. I want to see what you guys
Okay, let's go ahead and play it.
what you guys think.
Something in the tunnel.
Can you hear? I don't know why.
Play it again. I can't
May
hear.
up part, right?
I'm gonna play it again.
Leave the tunnel soon.
Leave the tunnel soon.
Leave the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's what you hear? Play it
That's-
again. I thought it said they're in the tunnel, but I'm not sure. Can you play it again, please?
I'm gonna play. I'll play from my phone too.
I hear leave the tunnel soon too.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm
So
not sure.
let me see if let me tell me if you guys can hear it. Did you hear it any better?
Leave the tunnel.
Yeah. And after they leave the tunnel, there's more sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Where's the speaker? I hear
Sherry's right. Sherry's right.
Yeah, I hear they're in the tunnel and then something after. I don't hear. I don't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we're all just hold on.
Yeah. Leave the tunnel soon.
Leave the tunnel because you're something.
Yeah,
I heard a little bit of what she heard now. Like maybe they're in the tunnel and something noises.
yeah. I leave this. So somebody else said leave.
That's
the tunnel.
crazy.
Tunnel is clear. Tunnel is
Yeah,
clear.
tunnel is
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah, leave the tunnel is clear.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's. I just love Rockwell Tunnel is by far. I mean, a lot of people go to Pennhurst. They love the Mayflower, but mine's always been Rockwell.
To leave the tunnel soon.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Maybe if they live. I don't know.
Okay, the next one. The next one's my favorite. Screw it.
All right, so this might be a little hard to hear. Now, this was the first time that I shared this because this was the first time that I actually heard something with my bare ear and got it on the recorder.
All right.
Nelly, leave the towel soon. It was a tunnel, not a spa.
What the hell, Tony?
Leave the
He
tunnel.
hears at the gate.
12:50 at the gate. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. I would voice print that one just to see if you could figure out more.
Right.
That's really good.
Well, that's a Class A that's not enhanced, right? I almost wonder if you.
Oh, I
enhance-
don't know how to do that. None of my EVPs that are mine are enhanced because
Oh, really?
the only thing I know how to do is to crop it to just get that part of it. You know what I mean? And save just that part. I still have the whole recording, but
I now have it too. I can enhance this thing and see if we
so
can.
go ahead. I don't know how to do it. Honestly, I don't.
I would say, in all honesty, I would say that's a very high end class B because there's some interpretation bouncing around.
Yeah, there you go.
But with enhancement, that could be class A because I mean the most relevant, pertinent part was tunnel, and that part is nobody's debating that. So that's
yeah.
Except Anthony.
Yeah,
he heard towel.
All right, screw it.
All right, so one night I was taking my enthusiastic friends were at the time where I thought I was like this big, I thought I knew what I was doing as an investigator. So it was me and my boyfriend at the time, my best friend at the time, and her daughter, and we're at my office. Now my office is located in was in Marlton, New Jersey, near it was a lot of Indian reservations and Indian stuff around there. So some older parts. There's a Savage Field nearby that they found artifacts from an unknown civilization from like 1300 BC.
Wow.
So yeah, all kinds of cool, fun stuff around there. And I getting into doing paranormal stuff. I started seeing stuff and hearing stuff. And I think I just wanted to see for myself if I was crazy, right? So we're doing this investigation. It's like 12:30 at night, in the morning, and we're over and over again. I'm like, all right, give us a sign of your presence. Like do something, knock on something, like do something. And over and over again, we're asking, and I didn't hear it sounds turn around. Hey, that's like a whisper, so it's kind of hard to hear, but it's in the beginning. And then you hear this gurgly sound say, screw it. And I heard that. And I said to them, I go, did somebody just say screw it? And then I said it the way I heard it. And it sounds exactly the way it sounded.
That's
So
cool.
to me, it's the first time I ever had any validation, that I heard something that nobody else heard I got it on my recorder.
All right, let's listen. Here we go.
What? Did somebody just say something? No, the background said. What? The background said. Did somebody say screw it? No.
There was a noise.
It wasn't that. It sounded like 2 words.
That's funny. Let's play that again. Everybody, turn your speakers way up. It's
I have it too. I can play from my phone if it's hard.
Yeah, maybe you should, but I mean, let Chris play it again still. But it was low.
I heard it,
and I still heard it.
Yeah,
I still heard it. Yeah.
Screw it. It's like screw it.
Yeah, it's there.
You're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's there.
And I go on and I go, they were like making jokes. I was like, I heard something. I was like, I'm serious.
Did somebody say screw it?
They're like, oh, maybe it was this. But I'm like, no. It was screw it. And I said it the way it said it because it came across very gurgly.
Yeah.
Okay, that was for you.
Okay. This was at that place where that night I told you I got 43, EVPs or whatever. So still at this place, one of the REM pod goes off, and afterwards you hear a whisper say, "That was for you."
Oh,
all right.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's listen.
Huh.
Wow. It's a male
Wow.
voice. Let me play that again.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
That is really cool.
Here's
I
a parting
appreciate
gift.
it. It's a parting gift. I'm not doing that shit again. That one was for you.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one we got here is Winslow Historica.
Okay, so this was just me sharing one of the funnier because it was a curse word.
Awesome.
Winslow Historical Society, because you don't get curses that often.
No.
And it was the F word. And I heard it again. I heard it with my ear. It was caught on the recorder, and you can hear everybody go, "No, I didn't say anything," because I said, "Did somebody just yell fuck?" That's what I heard.
All right, here we go.
Did somebody just say fuck?
You were right on it too. If you were a school teacher, I would never try to talk to my classmates in your class.
No kidding. Damn. Let's play that again so everybody can hear it.
She was on that.
Did somebody just say fuck?
And it's with like expression like fuck.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like you said, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. I mean, and it was very close to me, and I was the only one in that room, but there were a couple of people in the next room over. So that's why I quickly asked, because it sounded weird to me. Yeah. So it didn't sound like everybody else. I already heard them talking, I already know what the sounds that were going on around me, and this was just so out of, and nobody really, I was like, it just sounded weird. It sounded odd. It was a different voice. It was something I didn't know.
So let's play that one more time.
Okay.
That's the best way to end the show.
Yes, please.
Did somebody just say fuck?
He does go in front of it. Yeah.
He does. He says, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
For everybody keeping score tonight, that was one F-bomb, one big booty, and one butt pocket.
Followed by a bear throwing a silver Nerf ball through the air.
That's amazing.
That's one hell of a show.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, your clairaudience that you feel that you have, you made your case for it tonight, and that's not even a fraction of all your evidence, because you were really on top of a lot of those things in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so happy about that, because like the more I'm doing it, like I said, over this past year, for some reason, it's gotten it's gotten more
Stronger.
evident that I'm hearing this and everything. Yeah, stronger. Thank you. I was telling them I was in Gettysburg, and again, I was with two other. There was a SRS Paranormal had come up from Tennessee, and wanted me to meet them in Gettysburg and take them around Gettysburg. So, to some of the hot spots, and you think like all the normal, like the Devil's Den and the wheat field and all those places are the hopping spots, but it's not. I mean, at least I know, I've had a lot more experiences off the beaten paths than I have, at those areas. But we were at Little Round Top, and they were getting cigars out to kind of offer a cigar to the soldiers, and smoke. And he says, "Where's the box?" One of them says, "Where's the box?" And I hear the box, and then the other one says, "What box?" So I go, "Did one of you guys just say box in between?" You're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I heard the word box 3 times, not just twice." You listen back on the recorder, and sure enough, there it is.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And they were there. They were like, "Holy shit, we did not hear that." And we didn't say that. You heard that? I'm like, I heard that. So
it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
You had great evidence. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
I love sharing it. I love sharing like the stuff that I I do have things where you listen to and you're like, and that's in my iffy folder, and that's whatever. But like I said, the few that I do have, that I love. I catch a lot of whistles that I hear with my ear. Anywhere from, I have private houses to a house in Cape May, bed and breakfast. And then, just like everywhere. Whistles are a thing that I capture. I don't know if you guys capture whistles a lot, and it's like whistles like that, just kind of trying to get your attention almost. You know what I mean? So.
Yep.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, it's fantastic. Taryn, thanks for coming on tonight. I want to reach out and
Thanks
thank
for
our
having
audience
me.
again. Everybody, pay attention to Paranormal Brew.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Make
Tell them
sure
again what night and time, please.
So it's every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, I'm banned from going live on Facebook. Because somebody had put up a picture of a dog. I didn't do anything wrong, but they put a picture of a dog, and the robot Facebook that's out there took what I said the wrong way. I said, "Oh my God, your dog is so cute! I'm going to kidnap it." And because I said that, they banned me for going live for 60 days. So
Oh,
I'm almost
wow.
yeah. Of course, when I had Jason Halls on, right, I can't go live on Facebook. So it was, which I've gotten a lot more subscribers on my YouTube channel, which is great. So I can go live on YouTube. So I'm live on YouTube, live on Paranormal King Radio Network, and then I'll share the episodes onto Paranormal Brew's Facebook, BB3 TV's Facebook, and Unrestricted Paranormal 2. And then parapost.net also will share it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, I want to thank our audience for stopping again. We got Aaron, Roland, Carrie, Kathy. God, I could go on and on. It's the same people every week.
Anthony.
We had some great people jump on because of Taryn, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I would thank everybody for their opinions about everything too. I love seeing, what other people hear, what they see, all that stuff, and I thank everybody for chiming in.
Thank you for chiming in. Make sure you tune in next week,
guys.
Channel. And if you want to hear things like the F-bombs or butt pocket, or if you ever wanted to see a bear throwing a silver Nerf ball, you've got to stay on it.
If you ever want me to come back on and share more of my stuff, I will be. I'm more than happy to do it.
Awesome. Would love that.
Thank you guys.
You guys have a good night.
Good time. Nope.
She disappeared.